Good day, everyone. This time we will be discussing the second part of our lesson in social dimensions, which is originally known as the four pillars of education, but right now we will be considering it as the five pillars of education. For our learning outcomes, after discussing this topic, we will try to identify the five pillars of education and internalize the importance of living in harmony with each other and with the environment. We can also demonstrate solidarity of mankind regardless of race, religion, and culture in various situations. And we can apply the five pillars of education in different learning experiences. So to begin with, as far as the UNESCO is concerned, they published a certain report for the International Commission on Education for the 21st century, which is entitled Learning the Treasure Within. It stresses here that each individual must be equipped to seize learning opportunities throughout life. That is, to broaden her or his knowledge, skills, and attitude, and adapt to changing, complex, and interdependent world, which in turn to us as the lifelong learning. Okay. Now here are the five pillars of educations. We have the learning to know, the learning to do, learning to live together, learning to be, and learning to transform oneself and the society. Now, to understand it more, let us discuss it one by one. Okay, let us start first with learning to know. When we say learning to know, this comprises the knowledge, values, and skills for respecting and searching for knowledge and wisdom. It implies learning how to learn by developing one's concentration, memory skills, and ability to think. That is learning how to learn. Okay? It also includes the development of the faculties of memories, your imagination, your reasoning, your problem solving, and even the ability to think in a coherent and critical way. And we have to acquire a taste for learning throughout our life and let this critical thinking be developed. The skills that we have to consider here are the literacy, the numeracy, and critical thinking. Now, it is very important for us to learn how to learn instead of just saying learning. Now, to learn to know, students need to develop learn skills are the following. They must learn how to read with comprehensions. Sometimes we just read, keep on reading, but without understanding. So we must learn how to read with understanding. Not only learning to read, but even listening, observing, and even in asking questions, and even in gathering the data, or even note-taking, we have to consider them. Even when we are trying to access and process and select different informations. In using the media, we just keep on watching, listening, reading a lot of things, a lot of information, but we fail to process or even select good information. Or sometimes people became receptive on what they want to hear without processing it anymore. So for us teachers, what will be our role on the 21st century in relation to the learning to know process? Of course, what we can do is we will become the facilitator, the catalyst, the monitor, and even the evaluator. We can help our learner to develop values and skills for searching for knowledge and wisdom. Acquire a taste of learning throughout our life. Acquire tools for understanding the world and understand sustainability concept and issue. And of course, we have to develop intellectual curiosity. Now, for education, for its sustainable development, it will recognize the evolving nature of the concept of sustainability. When we say sustainability, we're trying to maintain the progress, the development of what we have instead of regression. It reflects the ever-growing needs of the society. It will also acknowledge that fulfilling local needs often has international effects and even consequences. We can also address the content, the context, and the global issues and local priorities. So just for emphasis, when we say learning to know, we must learn how to learn. It is not enough that you know something, what did you know, but it is very important how did you know it and how did you learn it. As a result of this, with the help of the 21st century teacher, we will be able to transform our learner to become more enlightened, more empowered, and more enriched. Were you able to get it? You will become more enlightened, more empowered, and more enriched. Okay, let's proceed now to the second one. Learning to do. Now, in learning to do, it involves the acquisition of skills that would enable you to effectively participate in the global economy and society. Meaning, here, there should be application of what learners have learned. In other words, you have to put things into practice, which is closely related to vocational or technical education and even work skills training on how one's knowledge can be applied. That means from school to the world of work, and you can be progressing throughout your life. Now, we must first, in doing so, in learning to do, we must first find peace within ourselves. Let us expand our acceptance and understanding of others and continually strive towards living the values that will enable us to contribute more fully to the development of a peaceful and just society. Just imagine yourself, yes, you learn so many things, you were able to apply it, and while you are working, it seems that you are not happy doing what you are working with. Why? Because you do not have someone with you and you do not have a good relationship with other people while working. If there is a good climate, a working condition, and we can say that everything is positive, a good vibes. So definitely working peacefully with other people can contribute a lot with the kind of work that you are about to produce. You will become more productive. That is why I'm telling you, everything should start within you. You have to find peace first within yourself before you can expand yourselves also to others. Let yourselves be peaceful. Let yourself be smoothly connected with other people. Now, within this context, lifelong learning and technical and vocational education training, this is very important in preparation for life and your world of work. That is why in there, we need the development of your competence, your life skills, and even your personal qualities, aptitudes, and attitudes. When you're about to apply for work, one of the most important things that your employer will consider is not only your aptitude, but most importantly, is your attitude. The big letter A, the attitude. Attitude toward work, attitude towards others. So here, employers are seeking competence, which is a mixture, specifically to each individual or skill, your social behavior, your aptitude for teamwork, and your initiative and readiness to take a risk. So that is very important here. To prepare you for this kind of thing, you must have the knowledge, the skills, the qualities, the values, attitudes, and abilities to communicate effectively and work together productively with others. So this is it. So it's not enough that you learn how to learn, but you must know also how to apply what you are learning. And for us teacher, it is very important if we could also help our student to develop their practical know-how, to develop their competence, to develop their personal qualities, and of course, we cannot get rid of the aptitudes and attitudes. Okay. Any question about learning to do? Okay, so it's very easy to remember. Now, the knowledge, values, and skills for active engagement in productive employment and recreation, you should be an actor as well as thinker. Thinker because you learn the things that you want to learn and try to understand it and try to act it also. Now, understand and act on a global and local sustainable development issue. And we have to acquire both technical and professional training. Apply your learned knowledge in your daily life because without practice, you cannot do it perfectly. And you have to be able to act creatively and responsibly in one's environment. So there should be a harmonious relationship to the environment, most especially your social environment. Okay. So for education towards sustainable development, it is locally relevant and culturally appropriate. It must become a concrete reality for all daily decisions and action. And it is about helping build a sustainable and safe world for everyone. Why safe world? Why? You can work well if you are in good terms working with other people. Because if not, what will happen to you? The tendency of you is to leave the work and find another job. That's the reason why many people do not want to stick in one place. They keep on transferring from one job to another, and they didn't feel any contentment at all because they are looking for something within themselves that they couldn't find. There should be peace within you, and that particular peace within you will be the good start for you to have peace and work also with others well. Okay, next one, learning to live together. The learning to live together, it is considered as one of the most vital to building a genuine and lasting culture of peace. That is both the Asia-Pacific region and throughout the world. The learning to know, the learning to do, and even the learning to be, these are considered the basis for learning to live together. Okay? Now, learning to live together, it involves the development of your social skills and values, such as respect and concern for others, your social and interpersonal skills, and an appreciation of the diversity among people. It is considered dynamic, meaning ever-changing, holistic, and lifelong process through which there should always be mutual respect, understanding, caring, sharing, compassion, social responsibility, solidarity, acceptance, and tolerance of diversity among individuals. Okay, Now, it also involves developing and broadening or changing perception of your attitude towards ourselves and others. The way how we behave in our daily encounters and even our interactions with others. Okay? So that is very important because if we know how to live with other people peacefully, we can avoid conflicts and we can easily resolve them very peacefully by just promoting living or learning to live together with others. We will develop a spirit of respect. That is for the values of pluralism, that we need mutual understanding and peace. Now, what will be our role, the teacher, in relation to this third pillar, the learning to live together? Now, we must help our students to develop an understanding of other people and appreciation of interdependence since we live as closely connected to the world. We must help them to realize the value of being able to live together in the gradually enlarging world like your home, the school, the community, the city, the province, the country, and even the world as a global village. We must provide them a safe and accepting learning environment for learning. We have to develop life and career skills as social and cross-cultural skills and flexibility and adaptability. Now, as a teacher per se, we must develop their self-awareness and self-esteem as well as empathy and respect for others, and it requires the capacity for active citizenship, development of both local and global identity, and the ability to understand others and appreciate diversity. Okay, now with this, you can see that for sustainable development, the knowledge, the values, and skills for international, intercultural, and community cooperation and peace, they are very important for us to preserve that learning to live together. We must respond constructively to the cultural diversity and economic disparity found around the world. And we must be able to cope with the situations of tensions, exclusion, conflict, violence, and terrorism. Now, for sustainable development, it is interdisciplinary. No one discipline can claim for its own, the education for sustainable development for its own, but all disciplines can contribute to it. It will build civil capacity for community-based decision-making, for social tolerance, environmental stewardship, adaptable workforce, and quality of life. That is learning to live together, meaning we learn how to learn and learning how to apply it in learning to do, but be sure you must know how to adapt yourself socially just to learn to live together. Okay, next one. The next one is learning to be. Now, when you say learning to be, this concerns to your holistic development, the total development of an individual. In this case, we can say that a person, according to one of the FAURES report, they said that an individual is considered unfinished or divided and incomplete. And it has been emphasized that it is through education that must be directed towards the development of a complete man. So it is very important that education plays a vital role in the total development of an individual. Both the physical, the intellectual, emotional, and even the ethical integration of an individual into a complete man. And that is considered the fundamental aim of education. Okay, so I repeat, for the fundamental aim of education is the total development of a complete man. We need that one. Now, according to Delors Commission, he mentioned that learning to be is considered a dialectical process. What do you mean when we say dialectical process? Okay, dialectical means meaning everything here and you want to learn to be, it should start with knowing first your own self, knowing oneself, and then you will open it to the relationship with others. That make it dialectic. Education, above all, is the inner journey whose stages correspond to those of the continuous maturing personality. And it is very individualized process, but at the same time, a constructing social interaction. Now, as a person, as far as we know, we are socially constructed. We cannot live by ourselves alone. We have a saying that no man is an island or no man can stand alone. Okay? Now, for the definition, as far as Apnieves' definition is concerned, they said that they founded that the humanistic philosophy of education aims at overall development of human person as an individual and as a member of society. Now I repeat, the humanistic philosophy of education aims the development of human person both as an individual and as a member of society. Okay. Now, here, humanization is considered the man's ultimate vocation and destiny. This is according to Paulo Freire. And it is only through conscientization that we are trying to become aware of the contradictions existing within oneself and even in society. In this case, we have to know both the personal and social transformation. So what does it mean? If humanization is the man's ultimate vocation and destiny, we can never understand ourselves if we will not try to consider our conscience. There are times that we have to do something and discern whether what we are doing or what we are about to do is correct or not, is moral or immoral. So it is only your conscience that will tell you whether what you are about to do is worth doing or not worth doing. Okay? So that is it. Now for this, universal aims of education can also be summarized into one, towards a scientific humanism, meaning in everything that we are about to discover, to do, to invent, we always have to consider our planet, the fellow Christians or Filipinos, whether the people will be affected with the things that you are inventing, discovering, or even researching. So we are after with what will be the good effect of the things that we have done to our people and to even to our neighbor or to humankind. Next one is creativity. Be sure that we can preserve each individual's originality and creative ingenuity along with realism and transmitting culture without stifling the individual. Okay? And of course, we must also develop our social commitment, which consists of preparing the individual for life in society, moving here into a coherent, moral, intellectual, and affective universe. And lastly, is to produce, or our aim is toward complete man. Respect the many-sidedness of the personality as essential in education if the individual is to develop for himself as well as for others. We must search for balance, no? Balance among those various intellectual, ethical, emotional, physical, and even the spiritual components of one personality. So may I repeat it again? To summarize the learning to be, the universal aims of educations are towards social humanism, towards creativity, towards social commitment, and even towards the completement. So we believe in a holistic and integrated approach to educating the human person. And that education must contribute to the total development of whole person, the body and the soul, the mind and the spirit, the intelligence and emotion, creativity and sensitivity, your own personal autonomy and responsibility, and even our social conscience and commitment. Now, along here, we always see ourselves as the main actor in defining the positive outcomes for our own future. We try to encourage discovery and experimentation. We acquire universally shared values, and we develop personality, self-identity, self-knowledge, and self-fulfillment, and be able to act with greater autonomy, judgment, and personal responsibility. Now, for sustainable development, it will build on the principles and values that underlie sustainable development. It will deal with the well-being of all three realms of sustainability, such as the environment, the society, and the economy. It will also contribute to a person's complete development, mind and body, intelligence, sensitivity, aesthetic appreciation, and spirituality. So this is it. So that is learning to be, which is after with the holistic formation of every individual. Okay, and then the last one is learning to transform oneself and society. We are always talking about of the lifelong learning. A lifelong learning meaning everything that you have known, everything that you have learned, you apply it, you apply it with others, you try to apply it in a real world, from the school to your home to the society, locally, globally. You are applying everything. That means you are transforming your attitudes and even transforming your lifestyles. Okay? Now, the knowledge, the values, and the skills, these are the competencies that you need to transform. Not only for your own self, but even for your society. The work toward a gender-neutral and non-discriminatory society is one transformation. Develop the ability and will to integrate sustainable lifestyles for ourselves and for others. Promote behaviors and practices that minimize our ecological footprint on the world around us. Be respectful of the earth and life in its diversity. Act to achieve social solidarity. Promote democracy in a society where peace prevails. And for sustainable development, we must know how to integrate the values inherent in sustainable development into all aspects of learning. We have to encourage changes in behavior for us to create a more viable and fairer society for everyone. And we must teach people to reflect critically on their own communities. And lastly, we have to empower people to assume responsibility for creating and enjoying a sustainable future. Okay? Now, these are the different pillars of education. And knowing this will be the foundation of education that you need to apply. Everything started within your mind. That is learning to know, is learning how to learn. It is not enough that you know something, but you must know what to do with that something. And you have to learn it with comprehension or understanding. And once you learn it, learn how to apply it through practice, and that is learning to do. And in learning, you must know how to work harmoniously with other people. That is there is peace within you, and that particular peace will be extended to others so that you can work harmoniously and effectively. That will make you productive in your working area. That is learning to live together until you've got your dream, your realization that there should be a total development of an individual in all aspects. And learn as a person, learn how to transform, to be more productive, to attain the sustainable development everyone is longing for. Transform ourselves and transform the society. Okay, as part of your assignment, I want you to answer this question on how you would apply your knowledge of the 5 pillars of education in your own pedagogical journey during online learning. Cite concrete illustration. Even just one illustration where we can see or observe the 5 pillars of education's applications. Any questions? Hopefully this discussion give you something as your guide as far as the education is concerned. So for this day, I want to thank everyone with the time that we have spent together in discussing this topic, and looking forward for the succeeding topics that we are about to discuss. So have a good day, and God bless everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.